What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the last Yeezy 350 to release in 2020, the YEEZY Boost 350 V2 Sand Taupe. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, and also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. So I just got this shoe in a couple days ago. You guys might have caught that unboxing video, and I've got to say, out of all the brown Yeezys that have released over the last year or 2 years, it's probably one of my favorite. I mean, to be fair, it is very similar to all the other brown Yeezy 350s that have dropped, but you know, it's got some orange on the top, so it's got to count for something. The Adidas YEEZY Boost 350 V2 Sand Taupe drops on December 18th, 2020 for a retail price of $220. And of course, I've left a link to GOAT in the description below, which is actually where I grabbed this pair if you guys want to grab this pair for resale or just check the resale prices. Now, before Adidas decided to change all the biblically named Yeezys to more color-themed names, this shoe was called the Lateral, which apparently translates to God knows. Now the shoe is called the 350 V2 Sand Taupe, which, to be fair, isn't as unique as the original name, but it is easier to say. But before we get any farther into the shoe, let's take a quick look at the box. It's exactly the same as all the other 350 boxes. According to the size tag, the official colorway of the shoe is Sand Taupe, Sand Taupe, Sand Taupe. I have no idea what that means or even what color that could be. Oh, Sand Taupe, it's just shortened. Can't believe I didn't catch that, I feel like an idiot. But jumping into this shoe, the construction of this sneaker is almost identical to that of pretty much every other recent 350 V2. The upper of the shoe comes in thick, tonal, light brown prime knit. The prime knit pattern is also very similar to previous 350 V2s. In fact, I think it's heavily derived from the statics from like 2018. And what's kind of interesting is that even though from a distance, the browns on this shoe all kind of blend together, when you get up close, you realize there's actually a lot of color variation. The base color is kind of a light tan, which is accented by a slightly more gray-brown color. And then on the lateral side of the toe, you've actually got some dark gray woven in between the browns. However, the most eye-catching and unique detail of this shoe, which, let's be honest, isn't that eye-catching or unique, we're just comparing it to every other Yeezy, which looks pretty much exactly the same, so I guess relatively unique, but it's this orange that's woven in with the prime knit on the top half of the lateral side. Now, I know it sounds like I'm hating on this shoe, but I genuinely do like this colorway. I'm just kind of sick of brown 350s. This orange-gray panel, while not a huge departure from previous Yeezys, is a nice touch, and it does kind of seem like a callback to the original 350 V2 Belugas. It's really interesting to me how over the last 4 years the 350 V2 has developed. If you were to compare this shoe to the Beluga 1.0s, you'd be surprised at how different they actually were. I think Oates Teddy put it best in one of his videos a couple months back. The new 350 V2s are kind of like V2.5s rather than just V2s. And personally, I feel like the iterative changes that they've made to the 350 V2s over the last 4 years have made this a better shoe overall. The overall fit of the shoe is better, the prime knit pattern's a little bit more interesting. I love this translucent stripe on the lateral side. Now the laces are different. It's almost a different shoe, but it's still very similar. As usual, you've still got this sort of X stitching detail running down the center of the shoe, which has changed up a couple times over the last few years. And like I mentioned, the laces on the shoe are also different from the original laces. On the Sand Taupe colorway, you've got these light brown rope laces, which end in this infinity loop lacing system, which I'm sure by now you would expect. While originally I didn't like this lacing system because I hated the fact that you had to cut the laces to actually switch out the laces, I'm growing to really like it a lot because actually tightening the shoe is much easier because you just pull on the laces like that. Not only that, but the laces are just less all over the place now because they're not kind of flopping around the sides of the sneaker. However, if you're not a fan of this lacing system, they do actually provide you with an extra set of laces, which are kind of more standard laces, except they come with a 3M accent in them, which I actually kind of like better than these laces. It's funny to me how just about every single colorway of 350s nowadays have reflective versions, and the ones that don't are kind of the odd men out. I don't understand how they decide what colorways are going to have reflective versions and which ones don't. It doesn't make sense to me, but hey, you know what? I don't understand a lot about Yeezy, and that's just another thing I just don't totally get. Running down the lateral side of the shoe, you've got this clear mesh stripe, which even though it's clear, actually blends in really nicely with the upper of the shoe. And one of the things that I love about this detail is that you can actually change the look of the shoe by just changing the color of your socks. For example, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this coming, but if you wanted to change up the color, you could throw on your green Apothecary Sock 2.0s, which are the best socks ever made. I won't do any more promo than that, but you guys know Apothecary socks are the truth. No, but in all seriousness, it's an awesome touch, and I love that they've been doing that since 2018. Moving inside the shoe, you've got a light tan sock liner, which comes with the Adidas 3 stripes in reflective material on the heel. Then rounding off the inside of the shoe, you've got a light tan insole with the Adidas and Yeezy logo in a darker brown. As far as sizing and fit is concerned, like I was saying earlier, I feel like these new versions of the 350 V2s are a lot closer to true to size than the original ones were. In some cases, like if you have wider feet, I would still suggest going up half a size, but for me personally, I go true to size now and they fit me fine. However, if you're used to going up half a size, might as well just keep doing that because you're used to it and they seem to work for you. But as I always suggest, if you have the chance to try on a newer pair of 350 V2s before you buy this pair, make sure to do that to make sure you're grabbing the right size for you. On the medial side of the sneaker, you'll notice that things are a lot more plain than on the lateral side. You don't have that orange hit or that clear stripe, but you do have some pretty nice brown tonal accents. Then moving around to the heel of the shoe, you'll notice that there is no pull tab, just like a lot of the newer 350 V2s. And actually, I've got to say that I really like the heel portion of this particular colorway. There's something about all these different textures and sort of subtle color variations coming together that makes it look like a patchwork thing, which I'm really into. Then moving down on the shoe, you get to your signature Yeezy 350 V2 ribbed rubber midsole, which comes in a semi-translucent light brown color. Underneath this rubber, which you can sort of see if you look hard enough, there's actually a full-length Boost midsole. That Boost midsole is one of the contributing factors to this shoe being one of the most popular sneakers of the last decade. It just makes the shoe really comfortable underfoot, and when paired with that soft prime knit upper, it's just an incredible feeling. Finally, moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this darker brown semi-translucent rubber outsole that actually wraps up onto the heel of the shoe and kind of makes the shoe look like it itself. I don't know why after 4 years they just keep doing that. Does that look right to you? Doesn't look right to me. Overall, the Adidas YEEZY 350 V2 Sand Taupe is a solid 350 V2 colorway. No, it's not the most original colorway in the world, and yes, it's another brown 350 V2, but it's important not to forget how good of a sneaker the 350 V2 actually is. I think with the oversaturation of this silhouette that we've had over the last 4 years, it's really easy to forget the fact that this is a really great sneaker, and it's still a really popular sneaker, whether you think that it is or not. I mean, each one of these colorways consistently sell out. So if you don't yet have a pair of 350 V2s, I think this is a good colorway to go for. If you're a 350 V2 collector, of course grab this shoe. But if you're like me and you've had your fill of 350 V2s, this is definitely one of those shoes that you could probably pass on. But that pretty much wraps up my Yeezy 350 V2 Sand Taupe review. Now I would love to know your thoughts on this sneaker and whether you plan to grab one when it drops on December 18th for yourself. So make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.